CBS 13 News is on your side at noon.
Right now at noon, hundreds of thousands in the dark. Sparks fly as transformers explode. Trees down, blocking roads.
That could have been so bad.
Drivers caught in the crossfire.
Just didn't see the tree at all until it was too late.
CBS 13 News at noon starts right now. Looking live right now in Cumberland, where street lights are still out hours after strong winds knocked out power. In Biddeford, explosions were seen and heard as winds brought trees down on power lines. Unbelievable video. It looks like fireworks going off in the middle of the street.
This nor'easter is still impacting many communities. The worst of the winds are over, but you can still see that we're dealing with strong gusts right now. Meteorologist Dustin Bach is tracking the storm. And Dustin, is it finally out of here?
Easy answer is no, not yet. But things are already improving. We can kind of tell it's nowhere near as gusty now as it was earlier this morning. Have luck, we are still battling windy conditions today. They're just no longer as extreme. We no longer have any high wind warning or wind advisory. Wind gusts now 20 to 30 mile per hour range for most of us, over 30 mile per hour wind gusts for southern New Hampshire. And current sustained winds, well, it is still a breezy day, but you can see it is clearly getting better. Pretty light winds around Lewiston right now, for example. Meanwhile, earlier this morning, here were some of the peak wind gust reports. Got up to 62 mile per hour wind gust in Portland. A lot of spots over 50 miles per hour. Of course, that's more than enough to take down some tree limbs. And that actually sets the record at number 9 for the strongest peak wind gust ever recorded in Portland. But Jeff, we have more windy conditions on the way. We'll talk about that coming up.
Well, Central Maine Power has crews working around the state to restore electricity. At this hour, there are more than 175,000 CMP customers without power right now. The company says line crews are currently getting help by 100 contractor line crews. It also has 190 additional crews from sister companies in Connecticut, New York, and Canada on their way. Well, let's head out now live to CBS 13's Taylor Gleason. She is standing by live in Cumberland.
And Taylor, homes and street lights are without power there right now.
That is right. Many people here have not been with power since about 2:45 this morning. We're at Cumberland Center. We're here and down the road currently doesn't have power. I'll step out of the shot so you can take a look at what we're seeing here. You can see that the traffic lights are out, so drivers are navigating through this makeshift four-way, and that includes Cumberland Public Works out here right now, making their way along through here today. This is just one of many spots dealing with the aftermath of this morning's storm.
Just didn't see the tree at all until it was too late.
For Ian Schlosser, it was a dark drive heading into work. He couldn't stop in time when he came across this tree on Pleasant Hill Road.
You can obviously try and stop, but like with the roads being so wet, you just can't.
It was one of many messy scenes across Freeport this morning. Schlosser is counting his blessings that this didn't end worse.
Just chalking it up to one of those days, and you gotta move on. So, yeah, like at least no one was hurt.
It's a little bit of Mother Nature's pruning.
For Greg Sweetser, he and his staff have been busy cleaning up his property in Cumberland. Sweetser could hear the storm loud and clear when the power cut out at 2:45.
The wind was really picking up, so yes, you can, in the house, when you hear the wind blowing, you know that it's a pretty good storm.
Twigs and branches covered the yard in front of his orchard. He hopes to have business back to normal today.
We pruned out some of the weak ones this morning, and now we've cleaned it up, and we'll be back in operation by this afternoon.
Now, right here where we're standing in Cumberland is just right down the road from Sweetser's. The owner tells me he is grateful that his orchard was not damaged like so many places across Maine today. Reporting for you in Cumberland this afternoon, Taylor Gleason for CBS 13 News.
Taylor, thank you. And Justin, incredible pictures of more damage this storm caused and what people will be cleaning up. Take a look. This comes from viewer Chris Andrew. A tree crashed onto a home on Forest Avenue in Portland, breaking apart the side of the roof. And from this angle here, you can see the roots of that tree. The wind just pulled it up out of the ground, lifting the sidewalk with it. If you see storm damage in your neighborhood, send pictures and video to WGME.com/chime in.
Well, York County is one of the hardest hit areas from this storm. Thousands of customers are without power right now, including many businesses. CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor joins us now live from Old Orchard Beach, where they are cleaning up some of the damage. Lexi?
That's right, Jeff. We're live on Ocean Avenue in Old Orchard Beach. You can see this portion of the road is still closed. We saw winds gusting up to 50 miles per hour here, and those winds were strong enough to snap this large pine tree right in half. And you can see that it is now lying across power lines. This is what we were seeing really across the region. At last check, thousands of customers here in Old Orchard Beach are without power. Central Maine power crews are out here still busy trying to repair lines taken down by trees and branches during this morning's storm. Now, just up the street in Saco, they were hit even harder with more than 7,000 customers waking up to no power. Now, with no power, several businesses on busy Route 1 in Saco were also forced to close, including gas stations, Dunkin' Donuts, and Starbucks.
We actually had power this morning until about 5:10. So we opened, we got a customer, and then we lost power. So we had to close down immediately.
Higher populated areas, you're usually okay. I live on Washington Avenue and we're up. But actually on the other end, by Veranda Street, those traffic lights are down. So it's always hit or miss.
Just very impressive to see the strength of this storm, the strength of these winds to take down these large trees like we're seeing here in Old Orchard Beach and really across the region. Now, Hannaford and Saco was closed for a few hours this morning. It is now back open, but it is running just on a generator while they are still without power. Reporting live in Old Orchard Beach, I'm meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Jeff and Katie, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Lexi, thank you. More new images just into our newsroom in the past few minutes. Look at this damage on Pitt Street in Portland. This tree came down onto a home, blasting apart the chimney. You can see the chimney bricks landed right on a car parked in the driveway. The windshield is blown in and the hood is crushed. Fortunately, no one was inside that vehicle when this happened. Another area hit hard by the storm is Willard Beach in South Portland. CBS 13's Brad Rogers is there live where several power lines are down. And Brad, quite a mess where you are.
Boy, it sure is, Katie. Behind me, this is one of several large trees that came down overnight. It actually snapped 2 power lines here and brought these power lines down. The utility poles, one of them has been replaced. They're working on the other one. Now, this is one of at least 4 streets that are closed in South Portland's Willard Beach neighborhood. High winds from the nor'easter knocked out power lines to a number of homes here. The winds toppled several trees that came down onto power lines. We also saw a handful of cars buried by those trees. Most of the homes seem in pretty good shape, though, with the trees and lines falling mostly onto the street. Now, a CMP crew is now on the scene, as we just saw, working to install new utility poles and get this power restored to the Willard Beach neighborhood.
The top of that willow got blown off and landed right on the folks who live on the first floor. They're tenants of mine, landed right on the car and put a hole in the sunroof.
When I got up and came down the stairs, it was like little firestorms outside. And the pole had just dropped down and the power went out, and we had a little car parked just under that telephone pole, and it just missed it by inches.
A CMP worker called this entire area ground zero in South Portland. They are advising drivers to stay away from this area until they can get the power restored here. We've also had a couple of boats run aground here on Willard Beach, just a short distance away from here. We're going to have more on that coming up in a later segment. We're live in South Portland. Brad Rogers, CBS 13 News.
Coming up new at noon, CBS 13 is on your side as Mainers deal with ongoing outages. The steps you can take right now to save the food in your fridge and freezer before it goes bad.
And remembering a civil rights warrior, how Representative Elijah Cummings is being honored this morning and what his wife is saying about his death.
You're watching CBS 13 News at noon.
The unexpected death of powerful Congressman Elijah Cummings has rocked Washington and his home district in Maryland.
The 68-year-old Democrat died of complications from long-standing health challenges.
CBS 13's Nicole Killian has reaction from Baltimore.
The White House flag was lowered to have staff in tribute to Maryland Congressman Elijah Cummings, who passed away early Thursday. The son of sharecroppers, Cummings was first elected to Congress in 1996. When Democrats won back the House in 2018, he became chair of the powerful House Oversight Committee, where he was a passionate and vocal critic of President Trump and his policies.
We will not keep kids in child internment camps indefinitely and hidden away from public view. What country is that? This is the United States of America.
The criticism drew a sharp response from the president, who disparaged Cummings' district of Baltimore, calling it rodent-infested.
Those people are living in hell in Baltimore.
Reacting to Cummings' death, President Trump had nothing but warm words for his former adversary. Tweeting his condolences, the president said, "I got to see firsthand the strength, passion, and wisdom of this highly respected political leader." Democratic Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer called Cummings a tower of strength.
When I read the paper this morning, it was like a punch to the gut. He was a wonderful, amazing man.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said she was devastated.
He always strove to reach across the aisle and treat all of our colleagues with respect.
There's also an outpouring of support from Maryland leaders. People here in Cummings' Baltimore neighborhood say his death leaves a major void.
It's just like a family person had gone, you know, that's how sad it was.
He does a lot for the community around here, and I mean, I don't know what we're going to do without him.
Cummings' health problems included a long-standing heart issue. His wife said in a statement that he worked until his last breath. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Baltimore.
Next at noon, CBS 13 is on your side as Mainers deal with ongoing outages.
The steps you can take right now to save the food in your fridge before it goes bad.
We still have some windy conditions, but things are getting better. I'll tell you what to expect in the 7-day forecast next.
You're watching CBS 13 News at noon.
With more than 100,000 people in the dark right now, CBS 13 is on your side with important information about what to do with all of the food in your fridge. Experts say the number one thing you can do is move anything that will go bad into a cooler. Use ice packs and frozen bags of vegetables to help keep it cool. If you don't have ice on hand, leave that fridge door closed. Food left in a fridge that's not running will stay cool for about 4 hours, but much less if you keep opening it. Any perishable food that's been above 40 degrees Fahrenheit for more than 2 hours should be thrown out. And meteorologist Dustin Bonk joins us now. Dustin and his crews work to get the power back on. We're still seeing some wind out there.
It is still just a windy, blustery day. We're still seeing a few raindrops here and there, but the bottom line is things are improving. It was a rough morning. Yeah, all those power outages. Still a cloudy, gloomy view outside of our Portland sky cam. Low 50s. The water much calmer, not seeing any raindrops, and the camera itself not too shaky anymore. It's a very rough view earlier. We still have some breezy winds here and there, but it's a bit of a range now. For one thing, look at that very nice circular pattern. That's your low pressure center over New Hampshire, creeping along and moving through Maine throughout the rest of our day. It will still bring breezy winds and some rain, but all around, like I said, it is weakening, so conditions are slowly improving. We still have wind gusts over 20 miles per hour for a lot of us, over 30 miles per hour, pretty close to that center there. But all around, like I said, it's not as bad as it was this morning. Local radar, not a whole lot going on around here. Cloudy, some light raindrops zooming out. So that wrapping moisture there, a lot of rain surrounding us. The back end of that system will be working its way through. We still have a few more showers today, here and there tonight, most of which I think might be into the mountains. It's not a lot of rain from here. It is still a windy day. Top of your weather headlines. Some light rainfall here and there. Tomorrow, though, looking good. It will still remain pretty breezy through tomorrow, just like I said, slowly calming down. It is taking its time. Into your storm tracker today, we'll see a few scattered rain showers here and there. Should be pretty light. Might even catch a little bit of snow as we get cooler into the mountains later tonight. Into tomorrow, it is looking to be mostly rain-free, unless, again, you're in the mountains. We'll see a few peaks of sunshine, mostly cloudy, still breezy. But rain is not a significant concern anymore. Into the weekend, things are looking really quite dry, both Saturday and Sunday. Nice and sunny. Here's a glance at that 7-day forecast. 50s and 50s, good fall temperatures, But after today, it's really going to feel a lot better out there, a lot less windy. Tomorrow remains breezy as well as today. The weekend ahead looking good. Inland forecast is pretty similar. Got a little bit more rain developing next Tuesday and Wednesday, but we have at least here several days of calmer winds, sunshine, no rain to kind of, clean things up. It's a mess outside.
It's incredible to see some of the images of the damage out there, but it's not actually surprising based on some of the gusts we saw in many areas this morning.
Yeah, this morning at Portland was 62-mile-per-hour wind gust, the 9th strongest wind gust ever recorded for Portland.
Crazy to see the damage Mother Nature can cause. Unbelievable. Hey, and by the way, to monitor this storm and every storm by downloading our weather app. The app gives you real-time weather alerts, live radar, and current conditions. You can get the WGME weather app absolutely free from the App Store.
The storm beached many boats, including some in South Portland. The Coast Guard says it got reports of adrift and sunken vessels as a result of the storm. CBS 13's Brad Rogers continues our coverage live at noon.
Well, Katie, a number of sailboat owners took a chance in this nor'easter. They kept their boats moored out here in the cove just off of Willard Beach in South Portland. But some of those moorings actually broke free. At least 2 of those sailboats ran aground on Willard Beach here in South Portland. Both are sailboats that were likely moored right out in the harbor. Several other boats you can see stayed attached to their moorings. Now, a number of people are walking along Willard Beach this morning to get a closer look at those boats. It's possible the boat owners may not even know their vessels ran aground. If so, though, they may be waiting for the next high tide to try and get them off the beach. Now, the Coast Guard is encouraging vessel owners to confirm the location of their vessels just to make sure. They also want them to give them a call at 767-0303. That's 767-0303. And we're posting that number on our website as well. So this is if you see a vessel that's adrift, or if you know of one that it's sunk, or if you see any pollution in the water as well, the Coast Guard would like to hear from you. We are live in South Portland. Brad Rogers, CBS 13 News.
Stay with us. Our coverage of this powerful windstorm continues. Up next, the damage done at one of the Northeast's busiest airports.
You're watching CBS 13 News at noon.
Storm damage cleanup is underway all across New England. Take a look. Strong winds ripped the canopy covering of a Delta Airlines hangar at Logan Airport in Boston. These pictures are from WBZ News Radio. Delta tells them teams will be inspecting this damage today. There were no injuries or planes damaged, and Delta doesn't expect it to impact any flights.
And how about this? A trampoline went for quite a ride this morning in Falmouth, Massachusetts. George Brennan says it bounced right through a fence. Looks like it landed partially on the sidewalk and in some tree branches. Can you imagine driving by and seeing that come right at you?
Just one example of all of the damage we're seeing this morning, Dustin.
It's basically like a parachute. I mean, the shape of a trampoline. And gosh, on the way into work, I saw so many tree limbs down. Leaves are everywhere, and it's just a mess. It's a rough morning. I mean, look outside. This is, This is from South Portland right now, yes. And of course, this is a common view across a lot of southern Maine. Of course, we saw the other video out of Massachusetts, a lot of New England. Still kind of repairing and cleaning up throughout the day today. We do have breezy winds throughout the day today. Here's the bottom line. I said it, and I'll say it again, getting better. It is still, however, breezy. Strong gusty winds over 30 miles per hour possible today. So that means maybe a couple more tree limbs could still be around, maybe falling here and there. So we've got to keep an eye on for more power outages. It's just kind of a messy morning, but getting better.
Crews trying to get the power back on. Again, still over 100,000 CMP customers without power. So hopefully, as the winds continue, they die down a little bit.
And it'll be easier for them to repair things as the winds die down, too.
And you've seen some of the images. It's going to take a long time to fix this. Trees into homes, sidewalks ruined. Unbelievable. Thanks for joining us today at noon. See you back here for more storm coverage on CBS 13 News Live at 5. For Dustin Bonk, Katie Sampson, I'm Jeff Peterson. Have a great day, everybody.